The story begins with a teenage girl named Cassie Sullivan wandering through the ruins of civilization. Armed with a rifle and carrying everything she owns, she cautiously enters an abandoned grocery store searching for supplies. The place has already been picked clean, but she grabs whatever she can find. Suddenly, she hears someone calling for help from the back of the building. Carefully moving toward the voice, Cassie discovers a wounded man. Both immediately point guns at each other. The tension is unbearable as neither trusts the other enough to lower their weapon. The man eventually complies and drops his gun, asking Cassie to do the same. However, she notices his other hand hidden beneath his jacket. He claims he's injured, but when he slowly reveals what he's holding, Cassie panics and shoots him. As he collapses, she realizes too late that the object wasn't a weapon at all. It was a crucifix. This moment perfectly captures the world she now lives in. A flashback takes us to life before the invasion. Cassie is a normal high school student attending a party with her friends. They tease her about her crush, a popular athlete named Ben Parrish. Later that evening, she finally speaks to him briefly before returning home. Her life seems ordinary. She says goodnight to her father, Oliver, and her younger brother, Sam, unaware that everything is about to change forever. The next day at school, strange reports begin circulating online. Students stare at their phones while teachers struggle to maintain order. By that evening, news broadcasts reveal a massive unidentified object hovering above Earth. Cassie and her family step outside and stare in shock as the enormous alien craft hangs silently in the sky. For 10 days, nothing happens. The aliens make no contact. They issue no demands. They simply watch. Then the first wave begins. Without warning, an enormous electromagnetic pulse sweeps across the planet. Every electrical system instantly fails. Cars crash. Aircraft fall from the sky. Communication networks vanish. Civilization loses the technology it depends on in a matter of seconds. As chaos spreads, Cassie watches planes plummet from the sky and realizes the world she knew is gone. Cassie and Sam are collecting water when the ground suddenly begins shaking violently. Trees collapse around them as massive earthquakes strike across the globe. Moments later, they hear a terrifying roar behind them. A gigantic tsunami towers over the landscape. Cassie grabs Sam and climbs a tree just in time. From their fragile perch, they watch as the enormous wall of water destroys everything in its path. Coastal cities vanish beneath the waves. Entire nations are devastated. Millions die. The survivors barely begin rebuilding when the third wave strikes. The aliens unleash a deadly genetically engineered virus resembling avian flu. The disease spreads rapidly through the remaining population. Hospitals overflow. Quarantine zones appear everywhere. Cassie's mother becomes infected. Despite everyone's efforts, she doesn't survive. Her death leaves Cassie, Sam, and their father alone in an increasingly hopeless world. Eventually, the family joins thousands of other survivors traveling toward a refugee camp. The camp offers safety, food, and military protection. For a brief moment, it feels like humanity may still have a chance. One night, Oliver secretly gives Cassie a handgun. He tells her never to trust anyone completely. The world isn't safe anymore. Soon afterward, military vehicles arrive at the camp led by a man named Colonel Vosh. He claims the army has established secure facilities where survivors can continue rebuilding civilization. The refugees desperately want to believe him. Vosh orders all children to board buses while adults remain behind for briefing and processing. The separation causes confusion, but Vosh insists it is necessary. According to him, the fourth wave has already begun. The aliens have infiltrated humanity. They can now disguise themselves as ordinary people. Nobody knows who is human and who isn't. The military claims children can be screened more easily, which is why they must be transported separately. Oliver reluctantly allows Cassie and Sam to board. Just before departure, Sam realizes he forgot his teddy bear. Unable to leave without it, he begs Cassie to retrieve it. She runs back to get the toy, expecting to return within moments. Instead, the buses leave without her. Desperate, Cassie chases them but cannot catch up. Meanwhile, the adults receive shocking news inside the camp. Vosh claims the military cannot distinguish alien infiltrators among adults. Suddenly, armed soldiers begin executing the refugees. Outside, Cassie watches helplessly as the massacre unfolds. Her father secretly signals for her to hide. Moments later, he's killed alongside everyone else. Alone and devastated, Cassie takes a rifle and escapes into the wilderness. Elsewhere, the children arrive at a military base. Among them is Ben Parrish. The recruits undergo medical examinations and receive tracking devices implanted into their necks. Sergeant Resnick explains that the trackers will help identify alien infiltrators. To convince Ben, she demonstrates a special visor that supposedly reveals alien parasites controlling human hosts. Ben is horrified when he's ordered to kill an infected child. After hesitating, he obeys. The military welcomes him into humanity's final defense force. Meanwhile, Cassie survives alone in the forests, determined to rescue Sam. Weeks later, she arrives at an abandoned highway littered with corpses and wrecked vehicles. As she searches for supplies, an alien drone spots her and shoots her in the leg. Badly wounded, she tries to fight back but eventually collapses. When Cassie wakes up, she finds herself inside a farmhouse. A young man named Evan Walker has rescued her. At first, she distrusts him completely. Nobody survives alone anymore. Yet Evan patiently cares for her injury and explains that he found her unconscious and brought her home. Although suspicious, Cassie has little choice but to recover under his care. During this time, life continues at the military base. Vosh trains the children relentlessly, convincing them they are humanity's final hope against the coming fifth wave. They learn combat tactics, marksmanship, and military discipline. Among the recruits is a tough and fearless girl nicknamed Ringer. She quickly earns respect through her skills and confidence. Ben gradually rises into a leadership role. Back at the farmhouse, Cassie eventually discovers Evan secretly hid her gun. Believing he betrayed her, she tries to flee. However, an alien hunter appears nearby. Evan protects her. His actions force Cassie to reconsider her assumptions. Eventually, she reveals her mission to save Sam, and Evan agrees to help her reach the military base. As they travel together, they grow closer. Evan teaches her survival skills and self-defense techniques. He listens as she talks about Sam and the promise she made to protect him. Slowly, trust begins to form. At the base, Ben and Ringer also develop mutual respect. During training exercises, Ringer repeatedly demonstrates superior combat skills, challenging Ben's beliefs about the military's authority. Eventually, Vosh selects Ben's squad for an important mission. The fifth wave has supposedly begun. Using advanced combat visors, the children will identify and eliminate alien infiltrators hiding among survivors. The next morning, Ben's team deploys into a ruined city. At first, everything seems normal. Then the mission begins falling apart. The enemies they encounter don't behave like aliens. They're frightened, disorganized, human. Ringer becomes suspicious. When she removes her tracker, something shocking happens. The visor identifies her as an alien. Ben removes his own tracker and receives the same result. Suddenly, everything becomes clear. The trackers aren't detecting aliens. They're marking humans. The military has been manipulating children into murdering survivors. Vosh and his soldiers aren't protecting humanity. They're serving the invaders. The children themselves are the real fifth wave. Realizing the truth, Ben decides to return and save Sam before it's too late. At the same time, Cassie and Evan encounter alien hunters. During the confrontation, Evan displays impossible strength and abilities. Afterward, he finally reveals the truth. He is both human and alien. Long before the invasion, sleeper agents were planted throughout human society. When the alien mothership arrived, their dormant programming activated. Evan was one of them. However, after meeting Cassie, he rediscovered his humanity. He chose love over obedience. Though devastated by the revelation, Cassie eventually believes him after learning the truth about the military base. Determined to rescue Sam, she continues toward the facility. To infiltrate the base, Cassie allows herself to be captured. Inside, she encounters Resnick and undergoes the same processing as the other children. However, she quickly overpowers Resnick, kills her, removes the tracker, and disguises herself using the officer's uniform. Meanwhile, Ben confronts Vosh. The colonel calmly admits humanity's fate. According to him, humans are simply another species occupying territory the aliens need. In his view, humanity has done similar things throughout history. Before Vosh can act, explosions rock the base. Evan has infiltrated the facility. Using explosives, he creates chaos throughout the compound. Cassie and Ben finally reunite. At first, neither recognizes the other after so many years, but they quickly realize they share the same objective: save Sam. Ben explains that the children are being prepared for deployment, and that Sam is among them. They must act fast. As they search the facility, Evan appears and helps eliminate pursuing soldiers. He reveals that he planted bombs throughout the base and intends to destroy it completely once the children are evacuated. Together, the trio races through the compound. Eventually, Cassie spots Sam among rows of recruits preparing for transport. The emotional reunion is everything she fought for. She returns his beloved teddy bear, proving she kept her promise. With Ben's help, they guide Sam toward an escape route. Meanwhile, Vosh evacuates aboard a helicopter and attempts to stop them. Before he can succeed, the explosive detonates. The entire base erupts into flames. Evan remains behind, sacrificing himself to ensure the others escape safely. Moments later, Ringer and the surviving members of Ben's squad arrive in a military truck and rescue the group. For now, they are safe. As the survivors gather around a campfire later that night, Ben asks the question on everyone's mind: what happens next? Cassie looks around at the remaining children and admits she doesn't know. The aliens are still out there. Humanity is still losing. But now they understand the truth. The war has only begun. Determined to rescue the remaining children and continue the fight, the group prepares for whatever comes next. For the first time since the invasion began, they have something powerful on their side.